Hey, welcome to another episode of C10's Garage, just for my good buddy Miguel. So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the Gen 2 false neutral between 5th and 6th gear that happens quite often, and there's some issues with it that you can address yourself, but realistically, really the only true fix is to actually take the transmission out and have some work done to it. So what we're going to talk about today is ways to avoid it if you don't want to take the transmission out. So the first thing is a lot of people don't really realize that the Gen 2 transmission is actually undercut from Suzuki. Billy with Robinson Industries up in New York shared that with me. The second thing is there's only about 250 to 300 RPMs difference between 5th and 6th gear. So like I tell a few people, don't use 6th gear. Some people like the lower RPMs. I love the lower RPMs for fuel economy and stuff like that when touring cross country. However, if I know I'm going to make a pass, or I'm around town, or I'm just popping onto the highway for a few miles and then popping back off, I just absolutely never use 6th gear. The second thing that I actually do to help the engagement between 5th and 6th is I've been reversed to GP shift for 25,000 miles. Now, a lot of people don't like GP shift, or my brain doesn't think that way. I've been riding, one down, 5 up for 30 years. I can't do it the other way. Yes, you can. Have some faith in yourself. It's actually pretty easy once you get used to it. It took me about 1,500 miles before it was solid and engraved in my head to do it. And the pros of GP shift are pretty great. You never have your foot underneath the shifter when you're going around a left-hand turn, things like that. And you can actually increase your leverage or your force on the 5 to 6 change. So we all know that pushing down with our foot, we can apply far more pressure than we can going up, so we can make a more positive engagement pushing down. And the Gen 2 transmission really loves downshifting. It actually is very easy going through the throttle or blipping the throttle and going back down through the gears in a GP shift pattern. You'll notice that the bike will never miss a gear going that way. It's very pleasant. There's some mods that are required to go GP shift. This is a Sato Racing shift arm. It's not required, but it has a lot more clearance behind it. So there's not as much work that's required to do to the side stand down here. Now keep in mind that I'm running a lowered peg. I have limited ankle movement, so that is why my shift arm is absolutely so low. I've actually had to alter it because you can see that I have actually touched that down before in some aggressive riding. So I've raised that back up a few millimeters and had to make some adjustments with my own ankle and just learn different tactics. But I talked to Billy some about what you can do, and he said, well, since it's already undercut, as long as the dogs and dog holes aren't too beat up, we can actually do what's called a race cut, which helps to suck the gear into each other. And that's actually not that expensive. He said if nothing's really beat up too bad, it's only about $150 to do that work. And then he also recommended micro polishing of the transmission. A lot of bang for the buck there, he said. It is $325, but it really slickens things up, and it really makes engagement a lot better from what Billy was telling me on the phone today. I would probably say, $500-600 will get a lot done for you. Billy said, about $500 as long as nothing's really damaged. Of course, you have to take the motor out. You have to split the cases. Got to box it up, ship it to him, bring it back. And of course, while it's out, you'll go ahead and check your shift forks, make sure you have no smiley faces, anything like that. And you'll also want to check your shift drum. And you can actually send your shift drum out to Billy. He can take a good look at it, make sure there's no damage to the shift drum. If there is, you just simply replace the drum. It's not a very expensive item. It's less than $200 for a new one. But Miguel, I want to throw this all out there for you. So just take in consideration, using 6 less often. Consider going GP shift. And don't feel bad about the terrible clunk and everything that happened that you described. It's happened to me. Fortunately, there's been no particles in the oil. Don't let the Mustang issues scare you into the Busa transmission issues. But good luck. Hope you enjoy this. As always, thanks everybody. C10, later.